Hola, bienvenidos a otra sesión de Satchel Classes. Soy Mr. Castrillón and I would like to welcome you today to another Satchel class. We have a lesson for Key Stage 3, but if you are Key Stage 4, feel free to join us as today's lesson is going to show us a lot about conjugation, la rutina de otros. Hoy vamos a repasar vocabulario relacionado con la rutina diaria. Vamos a repasar verbos en primera persona en presente. Vamos a aprender verbos en tercera persona singular y plural. Y vamos a completar y traducir textos al inglés. But before we do anything, we are going to practice our pronunciation. Today's example is all with that little symbol on top, which is a tilde. And that means that when we see that symbol, we just extend the sound a little bit. We make it a bit longer to emphasize or stress the sound in the word. Let's see some examples. So here we have corazón. Repeat after me, corazón. Or if you'd rather like to say it in Spanish, from Spain, you would say corazón. Corazón. So you extend that sound a little bit. Acróbata. Acróbata. Afónico. Afónico. Presión. Presión. Impresión. Impresión. Okay, now I'm going to give you 60 seconds to work out the meaning of each one of those words. Off you go. And your time is up. Corazón means heart. Acróbata means acrobat. Afónico means without voice. Presión means pressure. Impresión, impression. La rutina diaria. We need to match up these phrases. Levantarse, desayunar, almorzar, ir al colegio, ir al trabajo, ver la tele, hablar con amigos. I'm going to help you out a little bit. Match them up with these ones. You've got 2 minutes for doing so. Off you go. And time is up. Let's see the answers. Levantarse, to get up. Desayunar, to have breakfast. Almorzar, to have lunch. Ir al colegio, to go to school. Ir al trabajo, to go to work. Ver la tele, to watch telly, hablar con amigos, to speak to friends. Now we're going to have some sentences here that we want to translate. Now check that all of these sentences have those verbs conjugated. I'm just going to give you a little bit of help here. All of them are conjugated in the first person singular, which is yo. In other words, I. So all of the sentences are saying I do something. Your mission is to work out what it is that we are doing in Spanish. Off you go. And our time is up. Let's see the answers. The first one is I get up at 8. The second one is I have breakfast. I have cereal and toast for breakfast. The next one is I have lunch at midday. The next one is I go to school by bus. Then I go to work in my car. Then I watch telly every night. And finally, I speak to my friends on Snapchat. Very good. Let's continue. Now, we're going to talk about all the person's routine. Now, we have these sentences here. Me levanto a las 8, desayuno cereal y tostadas, and so on. But let's get rid of that noise and let's leave only the verbs. So as you can see, I have all of these verbs and they're all in present tense, in simple present tense, but also in first person, meaning I do the activity. I get up in the morning. I have for breakfast. I have lunch. I go. I see or watch or and I speak. But what if we want to talk about somebody else? Well, we need to change slightly our verb and check that change. With the first one, we change me for se, and then we say levanta. And as you can see, all of these verbs have an a at the end, other than apart from ve, which is a different type of verb. And of course, we go back to a. So me levanto turns into se levanta. Desayuno, desayuna. Almuerzo, almuerza. Voy, va. Ve, veo, ve. And hablo, habla. But also we have a third option, which is if we are talking about several people. So all we need to do is add an N at the end. Se levanta, se levantan. Desayuna, desayunan. Almuerza, almuerzan. Va, van. Va, van again. Ve, ven. Habla, hablan. So as you can see, we have, when we're talking about ourselves, I. When we talk about somebody else, one person mainly, but also when we're talking about a group of people. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes for you to take notes of these ones because we are going to need them for the next activity. Now, in the meantime, just remember that you can actually come back to the videos, watch them again. You can screenshot the videos, you can take notes, also ask your teacher. And any doubts that you have, feel free to talk about those doubts to your teacher or someone who knows Spanish in your family. Something important here as well is that we have two types of verbs here. Some verbs end in AR, and other ones end in IR and ER. So that's going to be very important in other lessons that we are going to look at or teach later here on Satchel Classes. Now then, let's have a look at our next exercise. You need to fill in the gaps with the correct verb, whether being I or he, she, or they. And we are going to use these ones to complete the paragraph, to fill in the paragraph. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to read the text and fill in the gaps. Off you go. I think my timer is a bit too fast, so I'm going to give you 2 more minutes to try and finish this exercise. Off you go. Okay, our time is up now. So just remember that we have 3 levels or different types of conjugations here that are all in present. The yellow one will be for I, the green one will be for he or she, and the orange one will be for they. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to start reading our paragraph. Hola, soy Esteban. Yo a las 8 de la mañana todos los días. Now, yo is a bit of a hint. It's telling us, all right, I'm talking about myself. So here is going to be one of the yellow words. And he says at 8 o'clock in the morning. So what do we do at 8 o'clock in the morning? Well, we can either get up or have breakfast. We chose me levanto, which is I get up. Yo me levanto a las 8 de la mañana todos los días. Yo, cereal y leche. Once again, yo is myself, and we have food here. So what do we do with food in the morning? Well, we have for breakfast, desayuno. Then we have mi padre Julio No, nada en la mañana porque no le gusta comer tan temprano. So in this case, we're talking about somebody else and it's only one person. So it's going to be the green section. And of course, it's going to be something that he does in the mornings. And it says something about eating. So very likely it's going to be desayuna. Then we have tengo dos hermanos. Ellos, now we're talking about they. Al colegio. Now remember that we had a phrase which al colegio, which is to go. Van. I do apologize for my writing being slightly off. Then we have mi madre se llama Lucía y ella va al trabajo en coche. Then we have mis hermanos. Once again, they, so it's going to be orange. La tele. What do with tele? We watch. Ven. And finally, yo con mis amigos por teléfono. Yo is myself, that's I. And what do I do with my friends on the phone? Well, I speak, hablo. Now, our GCSE challenge is to answer these questions. So I'm going to give you a few minutes for you to try and answer these 5 questions that are based on the previous paragraph. Off you go. And our time is up. So let's have a look at these answers, or the questions first. Who doesn't eat breakfast in the morning? Well, the person who doesn't eat breakfast in the morning is Julio, his father. So we can actually write here Julio, or we could write his dad. Stefan's dad. Good. What time does Stefan get up every morning or every day? Well, according to text, 8 o'clock every day. So we can put AM. How does Stefan's brother go to school? Well, according to that, they go by bicycle. How often do Stefan's brothers watch telly or TV? They do it every day or every evening. And why doesn't Stefan's father have breakfast? Well, because he does not like to eat so early. And that's the answer for that question. Very well done. Today we have revised vocabulary related to daily routine. We have also revised verbs in first person, I, in present tense. We learned how to conjugate verbs in third person singular and plural. And finally, we translated sentences into English and read texts in Spanish. I hope you have learned lots of things today, and I wish you the very best. In the meantime, hasta muy pronto. Muchos éxitos.